Clunk. All right, the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Yay.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Tonight, we are continuing our campaign of Journeys through the Radiant Citadel. Our players tonight, David Archambault as Dianok.
Oh, this angel is just not fit to rule mortals.
Lee Burdett as Flounce.
We are in a whole lot of trouble.
Paul Weimer as Xenophon.
In a conflict with an angel and in peril, we seek what is just, do what we must. Our fight is your entertainment tonight.
Ooh. Nobilis as Kenthan.
Ah!
And Jason Banks as Exel. Who is muted perhaps,
Muted.
but there we go.
I said, I think we've made enemies on high.
So, indeed.
Every sense of the word.
Yes, we last left the Order of the Golden Prawn in quite a cliffhanger. Having traveled to the land of Ankaran Sangar, the Order of the Golden Prawn is actually not here on official Shieldbearer's business. Instead, Xenophon was asked by a colleague, I suppose you could say, a famous
artist.
Yes, a famous actress named Afsun Gorbani asked you to attend a performance of a play. And the reason that she wanted you and your friends there is because technically it is a banned play. But she feels that the arts should not be silenced, and she wanted friends there just in case something went down. You've since discovered that this whole land is currently under the rule of an angel who did once help the land fight off a demon invasion. However, has decided since that it needs to just set up shop and become the permanent ruler of this land and all its people, and they have to follow all of his extremely rigid rules in order to, as he proclaims, prevent the demon from returning. And in the 50 years since, people have gotten pretty tired of following those rules. And so Afsun Gorbani and her sister are part of what's a group called the Silent Roar that have been doing their best to resist the angelic rule non-violently. But there has also been a group called the Ashen Heirs that are much more chaotic and destructive. And then there are also the Bright Guard, which are under the command of the angel and one of his lieutenants, an angel named Artavazda. Upon arriving in town, you were Artavazda attempted to recruit you to help, but you declined. You certainly discovered that the Ashen Heirs were kind of not helping anybody very much, and partly because it was an Ifrit that was ruling them for his own reasons. But your friend, Afsun Gorbani, was taken into custody on pretty slim justification and was apparently kept there indefinitely and was imprisoned in a crystal. And you decided to help with the Silent Roar's attempt to break her out. Unfortunately, as you are now here at this prison, so to speak, which is a stone disc floating 300 feet in the air, you have flown here on manticores. You have broken her out of her crystal prison, but Artavazda, the angel, and two of his Bright Guard on Pegasi have come to stop you, and the fight has broken out. So, you're having been caught in the act of trying to free a prisoner, you are officially considered criminals yourselves, and they have demanded your surrender, and so far you have refused. So, that is where we left things off. Does anyone have any questions or clarifications you would like before we resume Oh, and apparently, unfortunately, we're going to re-roll initiative because the initiatives from the last time have been lost, I guess.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Okay.
we're going to re-roll initiative for everybody.
There was a
Fire.
pause in the combat.
Oh wait, now that I just did something, they all popped back up. So,
Oh.
Okay. I'll put
um,
mine back where it was.
I don't remember what mine was. I rolled.
Well, you were after 6, so we can just put you at 5 and
Yeah, I was low. I was low in total. Okay, that'll be work.
mhm.
There we go.
All right, and so these were at the bottom as well. So we'll just leave it as it is here. I believe we were at the top of the round, but so before I got distracted there by technical issues, did anyone have questions, or are we just jumping right back into the combat already in progress?
I think we can jump right back in.
Okay.
Yep.
So Afsun is a powerful spellcaster in her own right, but she is somewhat weakened by her current, her recent imprisonment. She is, I think, going to, at this point, she's going to shout at Artavazda that he is the one provoking violence here. If they would just let you all leave, there would be no need for fighting. And then she's going to cast Shocking Grasp on him.
Shocking grasp.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna move up to him.
Shocking Grasp is a cantrip. It does not. Oh, you're right. Never mind. I was thinking
Melee
of
range.
Chill Touch. Yes. So
Okay.
excuse me. Sorry. I have to pull back up her stat block because this is a complicated. You're right. Of course. That. There she is. It's like, oh, Roll20 has really made some progress with making a lot of these encounters much easier to run with having these little quick action buttons to have at the top, but it's less useful for spellcasters who have different spell slots and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. She can't do that one. I was just going to say, like, oh, she could do that. That would be really good, except she can't do that because she's weakened. All right. I think what she is going to do, she looks, and each of you have a manticore mount that you came on. She is going to cast Fly on herself. Just so that she can be prepared to leave. She is not immediately flying away, though, in part because you may, well, odds are angels can fly pretty fast. So
Yeah.
so just her going off on her own into the open air is probably not tactically useful. But she can now fly if she needs to. Can't then.
And
Oh.
if someone tries to shove her off the
Yep.
disc, he'll be fine.
Yeah. And so as a reminder too, each of you, your manticore mounts are currently like circling the platform and will come back to you if you call them.
Except mine, because I'm on mine.
Right. So Kanthan, you are next. And you are right there by the,
Yeah.
and one of these two knights on a Pegasus is much lower in elevation than the other because he had been like hanging off the side. But
Well, as last I recall, I was still grappling him, and the Pegasus.
Oh,
was,
you're right. Yes.
Like waiting to pick him up.
Right. So the Pegasus is like waiting below to catch him if he gets dropped.
Yeah.
And I think that your current take, you can make an insight check if you'd like to get a sense of the knights here.
I'm good at those. 25.
Okay. I think you can tell that these two knights, like, they are pretty devoted to their cause.
Mm-hmm.
That said, they don't look thrilled that Artavazda seems to take their deaths as, like, not a big deal.
Right.
From
Got
his
it.
perspective, if they were to die in the service of the angelic realm.
Absolutely
You're good.
understood.
Yeah. Okay. So in any case, your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically haul him to my left
Mm-hmm.
and onto the disc instead of his, because he's less
Okay.
dangerous there than on his Pegasus.
Was it this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Good, and can I kind of toss him to the side,
Okay.
release the grapple.
All right.
I figure that's kind of like a shove, so I'm gonna say that that's worth an attack.
Sure. You want to make a roll and see if he falls prone?
Yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
Yeah. Go ahead and
28, natural 20.
that's probably gonna do it. Let's have him roll instead anyway, but I don't think he can beat that. So he actually also got a natural 20, but that's still only a 23. So
Wow.
So I'd like him actually, if it's possible, to kind of skid along the
yeah,
thing for another 5 feet.
sure.
Just
Like
kind of,
to end up there prone.
or well, actually, I don't want him quite so close to the edge. Just
Okay,
just
like
kinda,
here?
Yeah. That's what
Okay.
I had in mind.
All right.
Just kind of toss him over there.
So it's a little
And then-
more obvious you're not trying to throw him over the edge.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And then turn to this angel and say, why do you think your people are resorting to consorting with Ifrits and Manticores? Why are they so desperate? Are they evil people or are they desperate? Are they so hungry for freedom that they're willing to take these risks? Why do you think that is? And then I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay. You can make a persuasion check, but I'll just go ahead and let you know right up front that the DC is going to be really high.
I understand that.
The angel is pretty sure he knows what he's doing.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
Sure.
But
Gotcha.
first of all, I'm good at persuasion,
Yeah,
and second
no.
of all, I'm hoping that over,
Yeah.
that we can. I'm not saying that I'm going to persuade him all at once. This is a group activity.
I hear you. I hear you.
And I rolled a 1, so
Oh, dear.
that balances out my natural 20.
Yeah. I think that the Artavazda just looks down at you with disdain and just says, they are being misled by outside interference such as yours and demonic interference. No one would be harmed here if not for your doing. And that's what he says. And it is his turn.
Mm-hmm.
And you did take the dodge action, but he's gonna, you know what he does is, hang on, let's see. I think he has this special feature. Yeah. I think what he does is he does this disorienting futures attack on you.
Okay.
Again, so he
Oh
basically.
wait, before
yeah?
I did not get a bonus action that round. Can I
Okay.
take?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to take a bonus action of second wind.
Okay. Yeah.
I just realized that was really important. Yeah, 13 points. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's always resuming midway through a combat. It's hard to remember all these little things.
Yeah,
But yeah.
okay.
So
There we go.
as he says these things to you, he's just staring you right in the eye, and you're feeling a sudden like tunnel vision that everything else seems to be drifting away, and you can only see his eyes. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm good at those. 17.
That's
Probably not good enough,
Not
though.
good enough, though, unfortunately.
Okay.
And what you find is all of a sudden you are awash with visions of possible futures where you find yourself in one of those crystals, where you find yourself fallen to becoming a demonic servant, where you find yourself expelled from the shield bearers, and you're just seeing all of these possible futures, and they're all, at least in the visions you're getting, they all seem bad with your current course of action, and you are going to take some psychic damage. 26 psychic damage.
Okay. Okay.
And you have disadvantage on attack rolls until the start of Artavazda's next turn.
Okay.
Okay. Flounce.
A Flounce is going to disengage,
Okay.
and she's going to boogie over to here.
All right.
Because she doesn't, she wants to be in range if she needs to, grab Canthan or something, but
Right.
out of immediate range, and she is going to say, I think you need to meditate on the definition of harm. How long have these people been imprisoned in these crystals? Because you're taking them away from their families, and they get no closure. They have no idea what's happened to their people, their friends, their loved ones, and that is harm. I think that if you believe that your methods are not
This is
causing
a
harm,
6-second
it's
round.
This is
yeah.
6 seconds.
So that's where she's gonna stop. It's like
Okay.
you need to meditate on the definition of harm.
I believe this coyote
harmful.
token is your steel defender.
No, I think that's the Exels or
Oh.
the
Exels.
Inox.
Exo
Yeah, that was
Shadow.
my
Okay.
my land beast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so in that case, though, you can make a persuasion check too, but I'll tell you what I told.
No, I'm
Canthan.
gonna fail. I'm gonna fail it. I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna fail it. It's
Okay.
Just
I'm just like I'm. Yeah.
yeah, it's an 11. I know that I'm not gonna. I knew that I wasn't gonna do that, but yeah, that's what I did, and that's what I said.
Maybe next time we can have that be like a help action for somebody else who's also doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
Take
and
that
I think I mean Artavazda looks utterly unmoved and just says, perhaps once you are in a crystal of your own, you will understand that its value is to rehabilitate those who have already been lost. Exel.
Alrighty. Exel's going to target the two bright guards.
Okay.
With Eldritch Blast, and I'll will bonus action Dread Form.
One of them will be disadvantaged because he's prone.
Okay. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I think I already did my Dread Form. Gotta make sure. Let me make sure I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah, I used it. So yeah. So the Eldritch Blast each one of them.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well.
Ah.
Yeah. And so we'll say that one for the prone one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the non-prone one.
Well, remember, it needs to be. I guess.
If it's a
So, but like it would have been a disadvantage roll, and so that 9 and the 22 would have been the 2 rolls for the, even if that's the one that's at disadvantage.
oh yeah, okay, that's fine. And then second one. Ugh, 12.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Ooh.
yeah, I think you're that first one. They both miss, unfortunately.
Right.
One of them is, you're kind of shooting through, past one of these crazy crystals that I think refracts the light in a way that you didn't expect, and the other one is moving around on the flying Pegasus.
Right, and my beast spirit, since it's next to Canthan, has pack tactics, so he will attack. My range spell attack is +8. So, wait, spell modifier. That'd be this one, so it's plus. I'm sorry, +4. Never mind. There were. Anywho, open up this one, and he'll get 2 attacks. First one. Oh, right. Sorry. They rolled them together. Sorry. Yeah, 17.
Okay. A 17 does hit.
Oh,
This,
and
this, yeah.
you're on the angel.
Mhm.
And 23.
Yep. So those both hit.
Nice. And it does damage wise. A D8 plus 4. Plus my spells level, which was second.
Mhm.
So that'd be 8 points for the first one.
Okay.
And 11. I'm sorry, 13 for the second.
Okay. And I think did we establish one way or the other whether those count as magical? I mean,
do
because
we?
I think normally it wouldn't. The magic is to
Yeah, I
summon it
don't think
here.
they
It's
are,
not
no.
magical once it is, unless it says so. But okay, just wanted to clarify that. So, oops. The so he is somewhat resistant to that, but he does certainly take those 2 scratches.
Okay. And that'll be my turn.
All right. Dianok.
So Dianok is going to say, if you were a mortal, you would be more fit to lead mortals, as not being a mortal means you cannot understand the way we are.
So I don't want to tell people not to, but I just hope you guys are clear. Everybody seems like they're really trying to. Is it just that you want to get the words out? Like I think that none of you believe at this point you're going to talk the angel down. So I'm not telling you not to say the things that your character would say. I just want to make sure that the players all understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, I'll go over to here so I can see both of these Pegasi. And do hold monster at level 6.
Oh, on both of them?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's a wisdom save, right? All right.
Yeah.
So first the left one fails with a 12. And then second one fails with an 8. And I mean, Pegasi cannot hover, so being paralyzed makes them fall. And one of them has got the knight on him.
Can I take a reflex action to grab that knight?
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Not good at those. Only a 7.
I don't think so.
I drop prone and try to grab him and miss.
Yeah. And so that is, I mean, they're gonna fall straight down. That's it. So let's roll 20d6.
Oh lordy, I think the plan in our chat's not gonna work now.
Does Hold Monster have a range? Like
No, it's if they go outside the range, it doesn't stop the
It
spell.
has a range for when they cast it, but otherwise, no. And so.
Oh, dude.
So.
A lot of ones in there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, all three, both Pegasi and the knight are killed.
Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Okay, well.
I give Dianok a dirty look.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, we could potentially talk about them being unconscious rather than dead. They wouldn't have been instantly killed, so to speak. But they are 300 feet down, which.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it simplifies the fight for sure.
It does.
Yeah.
Not quite the way we wanted, but it does.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have anything else for your turn, Dina?
No, that's it.
All right. It's. I mean.
Yep.
They chose their side.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Dianok. Xenophon, your turn.
Okay, so I'm not going to do what I thought I was going to do because, well, one of the knights is now splattered a bit. So I'm going to fly to here and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Canthan.
Okay.
Nice. 20 back, can't then.
Okay.
And I will.
That's nice. Yeah.
I will. Oh, you have inspiration. Vlad's
Should
inspiration.
have used it on that save.
Yeah, you should have.
I
I
really should
mean,
have.
do you want to retroactively say that you did?
I would really like to retroactively
I mean,
use that.
you
I
it was
forgot that I had it.
it was a low roll. You know what? I'm going to say that
Because I had like a 17. It was pretty close, probably. What's the?
I mean, the roll that you got, that was a 6 on the die.
You had dexterity save of 7.
Yeah.
To grab the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, I'm talking about the save when he mind zapped me.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm not going to let you retcon that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Too far back.
Too far back.
Okay. So I will inspire Axel. I will inspire Axel.
All right.
Take an inspiration, Axel.
So, yeah, just a reminder for players, that's what the purple dot is for, is that you have active inspiration.
Use it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
End of my turn.
Okay. So it is now the turn for the remaining knight here, and I think just seeing the 2 Pegasi go down and his buddy, he is going to stand up, but he seems like he's shaken a little bit. He's going to stand, but then kind of move further away, because I think he is suddenly a lot more scared of the height than he was a minute ago.
Cannot blame him.
Yeah. Okay. It is now Afsun Gorbani's turn, and she looks like, she is resigned. Like, this is not what she wanted, but at the same time, the alternative here was to submit to indefinite imprisonment, which she's not on board for. Yeah. So I think what she does is, let's see, can she do that with is that, oh no, that's self only. She is going to just as a firebolt on Artavazda. She gets a 25 to hit for 24 fire damage. He is resistant, however, to fire. So, but he is like, I wouldn't say he's bloodied, but he has certainly been taking some damage.
Yeah.
Okay, that was her turn. Canthan, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to call out to the manticores, like, circle around, use your tail spikes, and point at the angel.
Okay.
I'm going, as a bonus action, I'm going to use fighting spirit.
All right.
Which gives me 10 temporary hit points, which I need really badly, and advantage. So I'm going to start swinging spirit cleaver.
All right.
If you won't listen to words, listen to steel. And I got a critical hit on my first one.
Nice.
Wow.
Unfortunately, only 9 slashing.
But it is magical slashing.
Yes. Second attack, 21.
That hits.
Does that hit?
Yep.
9 slashing. I'm going to use action surge for 2 more attacks.
All right.
19
hits
for 15 damage. And another critical.
Wow. There you go.
Hannah.
For 6. Hold on, I didn't roll the extra die.
Yeah, I was just going to say, oh no.
Sorry, 7.
Okay. So those crits, unfortunately, didn't end up giving you a lot of extra damage. However, between those 4 attacks, you still did quite a bit, and suddenly hitting him with magical weapon as opposed to things that he's resistant to, you're definitely seeing him take those hits. He is absolutely bloodied now, and I think that the expression on his face isn't like fearful so much as it's like concerned. But
Yeah.
you imagine his concern is less about his own destruction and more that he might fail in apprehending you.
I'm going to take a move action, staying inside his threatened area
Mm-hmm.
to get between him and that knight.
Okay.
And I know I'm putting myself in danger here, but I'm hoping that there's a subtle message to give him.
Right.
Rather put your back to the knight than to the angel.
Yeah, and I'm leaving myself open to that
Okay.
knight.
And as far as the manticore, I think that you can command the one that you were sort of paired with, but the others are not going to listen. However,
Okay, all right.
the one that you command is, and he's gonna try to tail spike the
He doesn't need to get that close though.
well, okay, but
Yeah.
he's
but yeah, okay, get it. Yeah.
Bali!
Unfortunately though he misses with the tail spike. He does attack though, and he's flying in closer, kind of swoops by. All right.
How many does a manticore usually gets?
Does it?
3 tail spike attacks.
Here, let me see. Oh, you are absolutely right. So roll that 2 more times. Oh, a crit for second one, and then a miss for the second one, the third one again. So, but he's going to do another 4 total damage.
Okay.
8 with the resistance there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is your turn, and now it is Artavasta's turn. And he is going to... Yeah, I think he's just going to whirl on you and continue with his... You know what? Actually, I think he is going to cast Cure Wounds on himself. Let's see. Yeah, he casts Cure Wounds on himself. Yep. And so he heals himself some. And now, Flounce, it's your turn.
Hey, well, since we're doing the thing, let's do the thing. And I'm going to go back inside melee range.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do this thing. So, first longsword attack.
Hmm.
18 to hit.
18 hits.
For 7.
All right.
Magical.
Magical.
Yep, and it is magical.
Mm-hmm.
19 to hit.
Also hits.
For 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also going to use my action surge.
I just realized I get 3 attacks per round, not 2.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was missing 2 attacks there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I will let you do them again because that's that.
Okay.
You know, let's.
Yeah.
All right.
We're coming back after a couple of weeks.
Lee get theirs done, and then
Yeah.
I'll do mine.
Yeah.
Okay. And 23 for
Mm-hmm.
another
7.
7.
Yep.
Action surge does 2 more attacks.
So
There's a
It's-
full round.
Yeah.
Full round of. Okay, so
Mhm.
the last one was dirty 20
Okay.
for 12.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
that's
Here's the
a-
2 attacks that I didn't
Mm-hmm.
get. 25,
Hits.
9 damage, 15 probably misses.
Okay. And then 15 does miss. Yeah, but he's looking pretty hurt now, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Flounce's turn. And then so Canthan did his attacks, did a lot of damage. He healed himself a little bit, but then Flounce did a lot more damage, and he's pretty bad off now. Exel, it's you're up.
Yeah. I don't have a lot that does a lot of damage right off the bat.
Yeah, you're more of a control than DPS.
Right. So he's just gonna get some Eldritch Blasts.
Mm-hmm.
First one is an 11.
Unfortunately, not.
And inspiration is what, D10?
Oh, yep. You can roll a
Yep.
d10.
Inspiration is a D10.
I'm saving mine in case.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a 2 is not enough to make it a hit.
Nice.
All right. Yep. The second Eldritch Blast. A little better. 17
That hits.
for 5 points.
Okay.
And
Do you push him back?
Yes, I will.
All right.
But I'm sure he's a legendary resistant, so I'm not going to worry about the wisdom save.
He does not have legendary resistance.
Oh.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
Oh, well.
He does have advantage though, and he gets a 30. So
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
When you got a gigantic bonus and advantage,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the legendary resistances are kind of
Unnecessary.
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first roll was only a 14, but the advantage gave him 30.
Right. I was going to say, because
Mhm.
14, he would have failed.
So do you still only have 2 Eldritch Blasts, or is it 3 now?
Multi-classing.
I'm multi-classing.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
so
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've pushed him. However, he can fly, so he doesn't immediately
Plummet.
correct.
Right. And so yeah, that'll be my turn, but then I have the critter,
Right.
and it'll just move up and attack him again.
Okay.
First one,
I can go ahead.
dirty 20.
That hits.
And that's to see if it's a crit. It was not.
It wouldn't have pack advantage anymore because there's
Oh,
no
that's
one else
right.
near it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, second attack at 22.
Yep, but so it means both attacks would hit.
Oh, nice. And then it is. Where's that spell? There it is. 1d8 plus 4 plus the spell's level, which was second. So.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's 14 points.
Okay.
And
It takes half of that.
yep, and 11, so that'd be 6.
All right. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep. He is in desperate shape.
and I have nothing on bonus action, so that'll be it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Enoch, finish him.
Yeah.
So, Deanok's turn.
Mm-hmm.
Deanok is going to look him straight in the eyes and say, Ardavasta, and cast Psychic Lance.
Okay.
Intelligence save.
Intelligence save.
Oh boy, can't be good at all of them, right?
That is correct, and he does still have advantage, but advantage gives him a 15.
That is a failure.
Mm-hmm.
That is 30 damage.
So, tell me how it looks when you destroy him.
So when
He had 3 hit points.
so Deanok is going to look into his eyes, say his name, and then say, Ball. And he just plummets and probably disappears as he plummets.
I think probably Xenophon is the only one in position to see, but as he kind of just falls, I think I'll give you a perception check to see if you can pick this up, because he speaks very briefly, very quietly.
Okay, perception check. Let's go. No, I got a 10.
Yeah, you can see his mouth moving ever so slightly as he starts to fall, but then as he falls before he goes too far, you see his body just sort of dissipate into like golden dust, and that just gets caught on the wind.
Well,
all right,
he's gone.
Yep.
Canthan's going to turn to the knight behind him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you want to drop those weapons now?
he looks to you, and he does drop his weapons, and he kneels and he says, "You've chosen your course of action, and I've chosen mine."
Where's the flying carpet? We'll give you a lift down.
Thank you. I'll wait.
You'll wait?
There's other nights. They'll be.
No, other nights they'll be here. They'll be here soon.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We got it. Speaking of which, we should be on our way.
Yeah,
Speaking of
let's
which,
go.
it's time for us to go.
I call over the manticore that was assigned to me
Same.
and mount up.
Yeah, Afsun is looking around at all of these other crystals, and at the same time that she obviously looks conflicted.
If you know any of these people, we can get one more because we got the flying carpet.
Well, we can't save everyone. We weren't set to save everybody. We're here to save you.
I understand, and to be certain, there will be reinforcements coming, I'm sure.
That we won't be able to handle now.
I don't see anyone that I know specifically. I hate to leave anyone in this condition, but I think we
I hate
best be
to leave somebody behind when we can't, so I'm just going to go to one at random and
okay.
break him free.
All right. So it wasn't a trivial thing. Remember, you have to like attack it.
Yeah, but I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got space for one more, so
Sure. So go ahead and make your attacks.
okay. 17.
Yep.
13 damage.
27.
13 damage.
Okay, that's enough to break one. So
Okay.
you you see a young woman show up or like emerge from this crystal and ask for chocolate raisins.
Sorry about that. I should have muted.
No worries. No, that's fine. She looks as though she says like, "Wait a minute. I was in the bazaar just a moment ago."
You've been imprisoned by the angel. Come on, we got to go. We're rescuing you.
Okay.
You know what? Have you ever ridden a manticore before? You got to do that now.
All right. So yes, indeed. So. So indeed, all of you remount your manticores or other conveyance and are able to escape into the night, even as the astounding spectacle of the moon, glowing as bright as daylight, continues in the sky, and you are able to escape. Well done. And so you return, presumably, to the rendezvous point previously arranged with the Silent Roar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she and her sister are, once everyone is kind of settled, I think the woman that you rescued from the crystal had not previously been part of any sort of a resistance group. She also kind of just got swept up in a chaotic situation where it appeared as though like there was some guilt by association going on there. However, after discovering what had all gone down, she's very much interested in joining the Silent Roar now, because she's like, wait, what? That's not okay. All right. So, but
how long was she in the crystal?
I think once you established that she had not been in there for long, and I think you actually learned that this is not actually the prison. This is
the holding area. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
But so she had only been in there like 2 days.
Presumably headed towards the full prison.
Right. And so Lala and Afsun are obviously extremely grateful, especially given that it was never my intent that to make you criminals in the eyes of the government here, but we needed help, and you were here to help us, and so we are grateful. We don't have a lot of gold to pay you as the Bright Guard might have, but we can give you these. And Lala gives you a fancy looking hat. She says, "This is magical and can give you the ability to create illusions to disguise yourself."
Ooh.
It is, of course, a hat of disguise.
All right.
And Afsun offers a stone, and she says, "If you attune yourself to this stone, let it circle around you. It can give you the ability to." Which one does this one do?
An iron stone.
Yes, it is an iron stone.
Oh,
And,
wow.
And in
Cool.
fact, it is an iron stone of leadership that increases your charisma score by 2.
Ooh.
And that's what it does. But I mean, that's significant.
That's not nothing.
That's not nothing.
Yeah.
Do each of us get a hat or
No,
one,
they
or-
have one hat and one iron stone.
Oh, okay.
Hat, one
Okay.
stone.
Okay.
Yeah. Xenophon and Exel.
Rock, paper, I was gonna say rock paper scissors for it.
Does it go beyond 20 for the
No, it can raise your charisma only up to 20.
Okay, so my charisma is actually already 20.
Oh. Well,
Why do you think I do so well at persuasion rolls?
And then the hat of disguise also does require attunement. Both items do.
So the leadership thing can go to somebody
I don't think
else.
that's my particular style.
I know it's DNX weakness, but yeah. Yeah, but anyway.
I mean, it would definitely mean that whoever can, because you don't have to disguise yourself as someone else. You can use it to be just like incredibly stylish. But Kanthan is not. Kanthan is not. Not. He expresses himself otherwise.
And so you are certainly, they have their safe house where you can all stay the night and get a long rest, at which point I will let you already also go ahead and level up.
Yay!
Yay!
hey.
one thing before we rest, like Diana would like to go to not off soon. Lala?
Lala is the sister that runs the bakery, yeah.
Lala. I came across this coin from in one of the stalls while I was here. If you ever see anything else like this, could you tell the and have the person you get it from contact me at the Radiant Citadel?
She looks at it carefully, and then she like makes a rubbing from it in like a little journal. She says, I don't recall ever seeing one like it, but I will certainly keep an eye out for them.
Thank you. This is from my home.
Where is that?
We called it Tahultik, and it's one of the places that used to be connected to the Citadel boss. I got a fluke, and I kind of hope to either get back there or at least open up the path to getting back there.
Your home is lost to you?
Yes, in more ways than one.
I'm sorry. I hope you are able to return there someday.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, you are certainly able to get your long rest and level up, but part of what probably as a group you might need to talk about is Afzun and Lale say that they are incredibly grateful for the success. However, you should probably be aware that given that your involvement is known, you left one of the knights there, that they will probably have people watching the Concord Gem when it next comes.
Yeah.
Well, how likely would it be that they would be able to see through invisibility easily?
Well, it depends. If they the knights cannot, but the angels can.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Oh. Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
the Concord Gem is also a very public place. People
Mhm.
coming off in and on and off, right, are
Hmm. I wonder, could we get a large crate, hide?
have ourselves shipped off of the planet.
Yes. Actually, that was basically what I was thinking.
Mhm.
I'd be willing to go into a crate in order to
Yeah, that seems like a possibility.
Mhm.
smuggle ourselves off of this plane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The guy that we banished was not the top guy. This was one of his lieutenants.
Correct.
Okay, I was, I was, I
Yeah,
was.
Oh, yeah,
this
so
wasn't-
That was a Tash.
Yes, Atesh is the one that is like the
Oh.
big one,
Oh,
who's in
okay.
charge.
Okay.
So what you fought was his one of his deputies, so to speak.
One of his deputies.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a different deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if I was them, I would definitely have overwhelming.
He's
force
also
on-
not the only one.
Yeah, if I was them, I would have overwhelming force there. Next time it lands.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
so Afsoon says it's a little bit tricky because although we have become very isolationist in the decades since Atash began his rule, there is a lot of public goodwill that comes from the trading with the Radiant Citadel. And
Mhm.
although I'm certain that Atash would still want to apprehend you, I think that he would nonetheless hesitate to make enemies of the Radiant Citadel. However, I think in this particular case, he would probably conclude that you were not working on official duties from the Radiant Citadel, and therefore you would be arrested like ordinary criminals.
Mhm.
Thus,
Right, so-
however, his actions in apprehending you, he would be taking care to not damage the Concord gem or prevent it from being able to do what it's trying to do.
So if we can get on board, then that'll be enough. Hmm.
I
Yeah.
will say that there is also, although it would certainly be more time consuming, there is the possibility that you could travel to one of the other places where the Concord gem lands.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you know,
Assume,
but
just
that
assume that it's
would be a
assume
long
it's all
journey.
on one planet, right?
Yeah. So it.
That might be, in spite of the fact that that takes longer.
Mhm.
That might be the best way because it's much more difficult to pick where we would go,
Hmm.
and you know,
We just need a map and a direction.
Well, so I'll briefly step into the meta a little bit. We could decide, because the book does not specify which places are actually closest to where or how far away they are, right? Like it doesn't build that. But so we could decide which one is the closest one and how far it is and do all that. And
I think it would be really fun if it was the first one.
okay.
the
Well,
closest.
I was going to say that could be fun, but one of the alternatives could be that it's the place where the next adventure happens.
Oh, that's another good
Oh.
choice.
That's even better.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Okay.
A third option that I've been interested in is the one where we let the revolutionary go free,
Yeah.
and in order to like find out what happened there after we left.
Mhm.
But that is kind of asking you to do a bunch of improv, and I don't know if that's fair.
Yeah, that was the city of Zinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one with the jelly wine, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
So
I still have that bottle.
so how about this? we've got three sort of presented options. Obviously, like if you feel like traveling overland instead of trying to sneak to the Concord Gem, like I will let you decide. But if we want to do that, we could say it's the place where you had the very first adventure, which was
Night
um,
market.
well that's where it was. But I was
Yeah.
just trying. The Dinsing Night Market was the place. Um, It was in Sabsunko was the
Yeah.
land there.
Mhm.
Or it could be Zinda, which was where you had the wages of vice. That's where you let the revolutionaries go free. Or if you wanted it to be the place where the next adventure happens, that is in Janai. And
I
so,
could go to the next adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that makes a good a good reason to be there.
Hmm?
So,
so it sounds like we have a majority. Is everyone okay with that? Does anyone
Next
object?
adventure, yeah.
Yeah, next
All right.
adventure.
Okay. Well, then what I think happens is after discussing with Lale and Afsun, you coordinate, and she says we can get you, especially because they would be expecting you to go to the Concord Gem. We can probably sneak you out in a trade caravan. Um, Obviously, we are well inland here, but if we travel to the southeast to the coast, I believe that the land of Janai has its own Concord Gem uh, connection there. So perhaps you could return to the Radiant Citadel that way.
Sounds like a plan
Okay.
to me.
Would you need to contact your people at the Radiant Citadel to let them know what
do
happened?
we have a sending spell among us?
I have a spending spell.
So that's that we could tell them that we're going to be delayed.
I mean, I can white lie and say that I talked us into going to a trading caravan to pick up stories and learn more about the terrain.
Well, I mean, do recall that you did, although you came here not under the official auspices of an actual shield bearer mission,
Right.
you did let your superior know what was going on and the controversial aspects of it, and you spoke to the person, the representative from this land on the speakers to the incarnates on the Radiant Citadel is actually probably on your side here. She specifically said that she also does not like Atasha's rule. And
Right.
so probably the people who would be in charge, you have reason to believe that they would not necessarily, like, they would certainly be aware of the political complications there could be, but you don't think that you'd be in trouble, so to speak.
And I think it's worth letting them know, if they don't already, that what is
Certainly, if you let a
What's
couple
going
of
on?
days go by, they're going to hear the story from someone else.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is the name? What is the name of the world we're going to next?
Janai, which is spelled Djaynai. I'm saying it wrong. Janai. Janai is the pronunciation. Janai. And let me open the gazette here because you guys are going to come at it from a different direction, which is exciting. Okay. This is fun. Are you guys still working out your leveling up, or have you got that set?
Um, I I was experimenting with a couple things, but I am set now. I took Magic Initiate Sorcerer, so
Okay.
Nice.
they give me a couple more combat options.
I
We're
took-
mocking everything.
I took something I should have taken a long time ago, but now I have the option. I took the feat healer, so I can use a healing kit to give people hit points.
Uh-huh.
So we don't have just one person who can
One person
people
making
back.
and that's the bard.
And
So
I happen to still have a healing kit with plenty of uses in it. So
all right. So one of the things certainly that Xenophon would know, hearing that you're going to be going to Janai, is that Janai is actually the home of a famous bard college.
All right.
Yeah, it is known as the Cerulean Lyceum. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. There is one, but what you actually know about it, roll a history check, just because it's only slightly less likely that you would know as much about it. You'll still know, but let's see what you get.
25.
Yeah. So you know that one of the interesting things about Janai is that there is actually sort of a counterpart city near it called Genya, which is underwater. And the history of that is that Janai, hundreds of years ago, suffered a lot of raiders, and there was one particularly brutal period that became known as the Passage of Vultures. And in that particular series of raids, there was a lot of kidnapping. And so the story goes, which is, it is taken on a little bit of legend status, but it's nonetheless, at least at its heart, a true story, because there are people, is that the people who who fought their captors jumped overboard and then called upon magics, the magic of their own and of the Night Sea, and were transformed into beings called Night Sea Chilaran, which are now ocean-dwelling people. So there is a shared history between Janai and Janya, but the people of Janya are water-breathing only. They're not amphibious. And so they are underwater. And Janya is where the Bard College is. And it's called the Cerulean Lyceum, which is a center of culture in Janya. It is a great bardic college with a connected series of vaulted halls set around a broad quadrangle. It is known for having a specialized form of opera called Jainju.
Oh. Hey,
which
you don't
is
happen to know water breathing, do you Knock?
I do not.
I'm gonna babble what I know, and my excitement at the prospect of possibly trying to figure a way to get to this bard college.
So I think the travel is going to take. You know what? Let's say the travel is going to take a week, and we'll do a modified downtime week, with the understanding that it's a travel week, not a normal.
Right.
So you are traveling through like rocky desert for quite a while, but as you get closer to the coast, it starts becoming more and more like there's more rivers, and let's see. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, the adventure official material is focused mostly on the city right there on the coast. So I think what you actually pass through as it starts becoming more of a coastal biome and less desert-y is that you pass through areas of ruins, because Janai used to be kind of like a bigger civilization that kind of like it survived all of these waves of invasions, but kind of in a diminished state, where they kind of had to pull a little bit denser towards the defended areas, and the outlying regions were kind of lost over the years. Um, but so, what all do you get up to during the travel?
How big is this caravan?
I mean, I think it's let's say it's a couple of wagons, and so once you're kind of far enough out that you don't have to stay hidden, you can kind of like ride up front with the drivers or stay in the covered back area. You know, I am literally envisioning covered wagons. You know, from classic
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So
I'm going to swap and share stories with the drivers and the people of the wagons. Tell them my stories, hear their stories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the first time we've traveled overland between places connected by the Radiant Citadel. So this is terra incognita and knowledge that I can't get any other way. So I'm going to absorb it like a sponge and share where we've been and what we've done and do that kind of swap of knowledge and social fun.
Mm-hmm. I think that you actually get a little bit of. So make a persuasion check.
Okay. 25.
Okay. Yeah, you're always going to get good ones. I like giving you the chance to roll badly. I think that there is some initial you get the feeling that some of these caravanners aren't necessarily big fans of the Radiant Citadel because probably like the ability of using those magic conveyances, even at a cost, like there's some tariffs, so to speak, trading through that process, but it does probably undercut somewhat traditional caravans going from place to place.
Right, especially since they're so huge.
Yeah. But nonetheless, you all are too interesting in the way you helped the Silent Roar. That you've got sympathists here in the sympathizers here in the caravan. So I think you win them over. I'm not imagining, unless you really all want to, that we're going to do like actual rolls and stuff. It's just kind of just do what do you get up to?
Flavoring what I'm doing.
Yeah. So you do. I think you will. By just like hearing all their stories, I'll give you you already do pretty well on history, but I'll sort of, even without rolling, you'll know a little bit more about Janai, if when and if you need to. Anyone else doing anything exciting?
I'm gonna be. We're like. If the caravan already has like a cook, I will just like offer my skills to assist him. And if it's the kind of thing where they kind of trade off, I will volunteer my
I think they have someone who is the cook, among other things. It's not such a big crew that they have someone who's only the cook. But nonetheless, I think they not only are they grateful for help, but also, especially because with all of you, they're feeding more people. Normally, they don't transport people, but I think everyone is excited to have sort of just new influences and different kinds of food.
Right. So
I bet you share recipes.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna mark off one of the. Actually, a few of the vials of sauce that I've got with me used up along the way. I'm sure that people start to get kind of tired of it all the time, so I don't use it on every single meal. This is more like, oh, here, I'm going to use some of this stuff. And
because
it's available for you to try.
It's a rich sauce, right? Like it's tasty and unusual, but it's a lot of stuff in there. So it's like
it's not the kind of thing you'd serve with every meal,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's, wouldn't put it on your oatmeal. But yeah, that's how
I don't know. You haven't tried the oatmeal without it though, so.
There's other stuff you put on oatmeal.
Yeah. And I would like, if either on our way out of this place or someplace along the way. I'd like to buy a couple of potions of healing.
Okay.
Some regular
I
ones.
I think they tell you that probably the place to do that now is when you arrive in Janai.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have, I don't think they have them as part of the caravan, and they feel like it's probably not the best for you to wander around the bazaars and before you leave. So,
No.
Right.
but they
So
say
in any
that,
case,
like Janai is a big enough city. They'll have them there.
yeah, except when we arrive in a city, there's about a 50-50 chance that it's in the middle of some tumult.
Oh, how long have we been doing this? Well, yes, a lot.
Yeah, I think last time we kind of jumped to some conclusions, but here's hoping that this one will be a little calmer.
Yeah.
You know,
Or at
I
least,
thought we
you
were
know,
just gonna go attend a play.
Well, first of all, also as we begin, the caravan part of it, did you send ascending to?
Yes, it did.
What did you say?
We are taking a trade caravan to Janai rather than return via the Concord Gem. In undoing an unjust imprisonment, we have gathered negative attention from the angelic ruler of the realm.
Okay. So is this to your shield bearers?
Yes.
There's a little bit of a delay as he's considering. He says, "Thank you for reporting in. Negative attention isn't great, but ending unjust imprisonment is good. We'll need to discuss further upon your return."
Understood.
All right, but you have reported in.
I've done my due diligence.
Yeah.
I knew eventually that sending would actually be useful when I took it so many levels ago.
Mm-hmm.
so many levels.
Yes. Level pun implied.
Oh, see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'm not the bard for nothing.
So I think as you, does anyone else have stuff they want to do over the course of the travel, or we can just go ahead and move forward to your arrival?
I know Dianok, in taking one of their new spells, banishment, is going to talk to Axel and say, you're the creatures you summon for your ability. Can I use them to practice banishment?
Sure. I don't see why not. Although I can't. I can only do it about 4 times. So.
Well, I mean, once or twice should be useful. If it doesn't work, the creature shouldn't be removed. So
Okay.
and just like, eventually it just like get the spell, so that just do the thing and the creature goes away. Right. Well, if we maybe that would have been more helpful last time, but at least I know it now.
Indeed, we've learned a lot on this journey.
Yeah.
You can see, like, if anyone were to say do a healing check or some sort of medical look at Exel, you would see that he is, well, for one thing, his heart rate is probably that of something that should be dead. Like, if you look at, like, if you check his pulse, it's like once every like few minutes. Like, the more he's gotten stronger with his spellcasting, far more like something dead he is becoming.
Oh,
though
boy.
some things far more noticeable than others.
Hmm.
He still loves his drink and food from Canton, though.
Yeah, I think maybe the caravan employees kind of give you a wide berth.
Well, I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, at least they haven't seen him fight yet.
Yeah, if they saw the scary bunny, they'd have problems.
Yeah.
We got big bunny and scary bunny.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I think that as you are approaching the city of Janai, you are coming at it from the north, and so the caravan is going to take you to the city first, and they tell you that if you wanted to head straight to the Concord Gem, there is a river that will lead further inland to the east that is going to 5 miles up is where the Concord Gem lands for J9.
Mhm.
But since you're arriving in the city towards the evening, they have they have a recommendation that there is an inn named, what was the pronunciation there? Anadwa's Rest House is that they recommend that that's a reasonable place to stay for the night if you want to head out in the morning or see the city.
Getting spending
That's
the
your
night.
recommendation.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Be nice to be able to visit some place that isn't in the middle of some crisis.
Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Although, to be fair, the last few times that we did go to places that had festivals, they didn't turn out too good either.
We are not party people, apparently.
Huh. Is there any sort of festival going on here?
Nothing that I'm aware of at the moment. I mean, they have holidays and stuff, but
Oh, of course.
nothing's going on
You
right
see
now.
Zebra leap across our faces.
It is kind of funny how, not that it's entirely a writing thing, but it is funny how many of the adventures happen to take place on a big festival or a holiday. But of course,
Yeah.
that's part of what's
Yeah,
great about
that's-
this book is that it's such thoughtful cultures.
Yeah, that's the
cultural
whole
detail.
point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah, but not in this one, or at least not right now. They have their own holidays, but just not at the moment. But so they certainly tell you as you are here that there's the Castle Janai, which is in the southwest here on the map. Here, let's see, I can
Ah,
make some of the other labels show up here. The very helpful one on the docks that says docks, because you wouldn't recognize otherwise. But
The spelling of Ancestors Dance House
Mhm.
is concerning me.
well,
Are there...
Yeah, it's like a dance
so
macabre.
so I think given that you had plenty of time to talk about it, they tell you that of course there's Castle Janai is made from onyx covered mud brick. Is obviously big. You can see it towers over the city. It's a roof of sharp pinnacles. And it's the home of the government here, which is called the People's Stewards, that are democratically elected. It's very fancy. The Ancestors Dance House is home to a spiritual faction known as the Night Revelers. And it's actually an old mausoleum. But it's been renamed since it was taken over by this faction. And then there's the market, and that's they say you'll be able to find some healing potions there, and then of course the inn where you're staying. So is the plan that you're going to go ahead and go to the inn that they recommend? And
thank them for their hospitality and taking us to overland, and yeah, head to the inn.
Okay. So we're gonna skip the. So I think as you're coming in along, you'll certainly see the docks, and I have a handout that's good for just a mental picture of the city, even though the normal adventure assumes you would have been coming in by ship, which is obviously not what's happening now. But I just shared you a handout that says arrival at Port Janai. And you can see, this is aboard a ship, but you can see that it's the city in the background. That's these are relatively tall buildings. It's a fairly big city that is most of what remains of what was once a much bigger sort of society. So you have this port is nestled among mangroves, which is what you see like here along that part, north of the docks, and it's gotten much more humid, and like there's little tendrils of mist here and there on the water as the evening sets in, and as you are dropped off at Anadwa's rest house, which is a well-appointed 2-story mud brick building painted pale blue. And you are greeted by Anadwa, who is, a friendly, well-dressed human woman. And she greets you and says, "Welcome, welcome. I'm told by, via message from your patrons in the Silent Roar that your rooms are paid for tonight. If you'd like to stay longer, just speak with me and we can discuss however long you would like to stay."
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you each have a private room, and meals are included, but served in the common area.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Rest house.
Yeah. And so I think you're arriving in sort of late afternoon. So there would be time to do something in the afternoon or evening if you wanted, or you could just settle in for the night.
I am going to give the proprietor a bottle of my sauce.
Spreading the evangel
Hey,
gospel
that's
of your
great.
excellent sauce.
Yep. And just in consideration,
She asks if there is any meat products in it.
Meat products. I think it's all herbs and spices and things. I don't think I think the base is vegetarian, because that would be something Kanthan would be aware of.
Is this a vegetarian culture?
Yes, it is not a law or anything like that, but it is typical here. And you'll see, like as dinner is prepared, the key ingredients of Janai's cuisine include banana, ground nut, milk from several types of animals, red and black beans, and chili peppers.
Yeah.
All for everybody.
Yeah.
So Kanthan is definitely sampling everything available at mealtime, but I do want to hit a market and pick up some healing potions if I can
Sure.
find them.
Yes, you can. The market is it's pretty well stocked.
Okay.
It's got.
Then I'm going to pick up 2 of them, just regular old healing potions.
Yep.
And Dion would like to go to the market and just look for anything curious and strange. Just not expecting anything from home, but
sure. Well, so on the on our latest I guess it was 2 episodes back, but the Tuesday night game we did a lot of rolling on trinket tables because people were looking for curios. So would you be interested in doing something like that, or are you all right?
Time for the trinket table.
Yes.
D100?
I do not want the creepy trinket table though.
No.
Sure. Yeah, D100s for rolling on trinket tables.
That's a 32.
Okay, let's see. 32. So go ahead and roll a couple just because
Okay.
like I'll tell you all of them. Um,
All right,
okay.
32, 45, and 30.
Yeah, so 32 specifically says a knife that belonged to a relative. So I'm going to actually rule in this case that it isn't like literally like, because I think some of the assumptions in this trinket table is it's things that you have on you, not that you just found.
Yeah.
But what we could say is it's a knife that perhaps reminds you. It's the kind of knife that one of your relatives had, and so it kind of stands out to you as like a familiar design.
What if it's a knife, the make of which he recognizes from home?
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Right.
Huh.
I mean, not just reminds him of it, but it actually comes from his home.
Oh yeah, so maybe you pick it up and like at first you just
Yeah,
said it's familiar, but then you see the actual like symbols on it.
Yeah, it's a fairly long skinning knife, and has it has the feather and a 9-pointed star that says, I know this. Holds it up kind of so it's light is sunlight, sun is kind of going to concrete. I think we're close to where I come from, because this came from my home.
Really?
Huh.
I think those are the rest of you who are right there are seeing a repeat of the last time Dianok went shopping and found the coin, which is the seller is selling a knife, and then all of a sudden someone is saying, "Oh, this is a special knife from the place where I live that is unusual in some way," and you can just see them doing the mental math of how much to add to the. Like,
Dianok helps the local economy.
2 gold for it.
Huh? What did you say?
I'll give you 2 gold for it.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Okay, that's a 6. I thought it was going to be a 0.
they kind of narrow their eyes and they say, 5 gold.
Sure.
All right. So you are able to purchase this little knife. The other items that sort of stood out to you is that there's a tiny chest carved to look like it has numerous feet on the bottom. That's a nice Discworld reference there for anyone who recognizes it.
Yes.
Yes.
And then there is also a blank book whose pages refuse to hold ink, chalk, graphite, or any other substance or marking.
I want the tiny chest.
All right.
Because I actually have a magical tinkering feature that I have never used, which is to imbue a tiny non-magical object with a magical property of my choice.
Oh.
You're going to go for locomotion?
5 feet of radius, light, 6-second long recorded message, emits an odor or nonverbal sound, static effects. No, it does not move.
Yeah, or bite the unwary, sadly.
Yeah, but I can up to 6 sounds long recorded message. I can make it growl.
There you go.
I'll definitely pick up that odd book, because that's interesting.
Yeah. And I'll pay 2 gold for
right.
the little luggage.
Do you ask the seller about the knife, or?
Yeah. Where did this come from?
That was recovered from a shipwreck. That was.
Really?
Mm.
Huh. Do you know where the ship that was wrecked came from?
Sorry, I couldn't tell you. The shipwreck was salvaged by folks down in Janya, and then they sold us the goods, so to speak.
Huh. Okay. Huh.
By the way, not everyone in this city speaks with that accent. I've just decided that this guy does.
Yeah, big in the city, some people will have different accents.
Sure, why not?
Maybe a recent transplant.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. So apparently, though, uh, having a sister city, so to speak, that is literally entirely underwater and populated by people who can breathe underwater, turns out shipwrecks is not like as finding shipwrecks and salvaging them is not as unusual.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and hmm. Actually, something I would like to look for is an item like that might give water breathing.
Okay. Um, I think that
Probably more likely here than most places.
yeah.
but,
So what I will say is that there are such things. However, a tiny voice whispers to you on the wind that will be taken care of.
Or maybe it's like, the place the place that does that is closed. Closed early today.
The voice says another DM would make you spend all your money on something that you're going to get for free later.
Okay.
You are very kind.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So no, I mean it's a good thought, but I will go ahead and allow you to not do that right now.
And how much for that odd book that won't take any?
5 gold,
Okay, that'll work.
because he figured out that 5 gold is the amount that he can say that you just say okay.
How about
I'd like
for the
to-
tiny luggage?
I think 1 gold for that,
Okay.
because it's for as far as he's concerned, it's neat, but it's just a little wood carving.
Okay.
and I'd like to roll for something too. So
Okay.
what was a 94 give us?
94.
Yeah, I might
Sure.
as well. I've never done
Yeah.
this. So
94 is a mosaic tile with a multicolored glazed surface. That perhaps it has it is it just a color that you find striking, or what do you think? You could roll again if you wanted.
No. I'm going to decide that even though we're nowhere near my home, there's something about the shape of just because it's a mosaic tile. It doesn't have a pattern on it. It's just a colored piece.
Right, yeah.
But it's this sparkly blue that reminds him of home.
Aw,
Aw.
So
nice.
so he'll drop a gold piece on that because I don't think a mosaic tile is going to be that
Mhm.
expensive.
Yeah.
But,
So did you want to, anyone else want to roll on?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
31.
Wow, so we got a 30 and a 32 and a
Yeah.
31. 31 is a silver badge in the shape of a 5-pointed star.
You've
Interesting.
already got a badge. I gave you the
Yeah,
badge.
yeah, all right, I have a badge. I'll need another badge.
Sure.
Pass.
I mean, you guys can roll more than once if you want. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you what you
I will dig one more time and see if I can find something better. 83.
Okay. An 83 is a bit of folded cloth that, when unfolded, turns into a stylish cap.
A cap?
A cap.
Oh. I was curious, who's going to wind up with that hat of disguise anyway? I know that that Axel's getting the Ion Stone, but who's getting the hat?
I mean, if we were in a place where we're bumping around in armor all the time.
What I'll actually tell you is this is obviously complete coincidence because I'm running on the trinkets table from the player's handbook, but you find as you're walking around this city that most people seem to wear hats all the time when they're outside.
Well, I mean, Kenthan already has a hat. You can
Yeah.
see it there on my
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. So,
So did you want did either you want the hat of disguise?
well, I was thinking that if we were in a situation where wearing heavy armor was,
Yeah.
I mean,
not fashionable,
then
it might be useful. But I still clank a hell of a lot.
You could. I mean, to be fair, you could take it and just make it.
No,
look
I
like
was
the
just
hat
I'm
you
just
had.
wondering if we should take the cap or not.
No. What I mean is, Canthan could take the hat and just make it look like his old hat.
Oh no, yeah, I absolutely
Yeah.
could. I
You should do
absolutely
that then.
could.
Yeah,
But-
this way you can disguise yourself in armor. Right. So I'm gonna buy the paper
Okay.
cap and put it on.
All right. It's not paper, it's cloth, but it's
The
just,
cloth cap.
it just folds flat is all.
So I'll give him a gold piece and
Yep.
buy a cap. I'll help
so-
local economy.
Just several people in this group will probably appreciate that 93 on this table is an empty wine bottle bearing a pretty label that says "The Wizard of Wine's Winery, Red Dragon Crush."
Ah, That's
Oh,
great.
gosh.
I'll give it a shot. While we're
Okay, sure.
So 83.
83
Okay.
is exactly the same thing that Paul just rolled. So you could also buy the same kind of little cap if you want, or you could roll again.
No, I'll roll again. I'll
Alright.
roll again.
Well, so Exel, you also, I'll give you the option of rolling on one of the creepy trinket tables.
Oh, come on. Actually, you have
This
to
is
do
the
it.
ordinary.
Yeah.
trinket
No.
tables.
I'll roll on the creepy D100 creepy.
Yeah, so let's see. Let me there's actually two entirely different creepy trinket tables. Because there's one in the Curse of Strahd book, and then there's also in the Guide to Ravenloft book. Both of them have their own individual, unique creepy trinket tables. So,
Meanwhile,
so-
has taught the luggage to roar.
so 83 on the creepy trinket table is a mourning veil trimmed in black lace.
Oh wow!
Okay.
That would be actually kind of funny for Axel to just wear.
Right.
Anyway, feel free to roll again if you like.
Which creepy list was that?
That one's from the Ravenloft one.
If you have the other one in hand, I'll use it.
Oh, sure. You want to see 83 on that one?
Yeah. Or and I'll roll another one.
Well, I mean, whatever. So there, you want the Curse of Strahd creepy book and creepy
Yeah.
table? All right.
72.
Okay. Let me. Where's the? I know that it's here. There we go. So, Gothic trinkets is the name of the table from Curse of Strahd, as opposed to horror trinkets. But an 83 on
72.
okay, 72 on that one is a porcelain doll's head that always seems to be looking at you.
As I recall, that was my first Curse of Strahd character's trinket.
Could be. 83 on this one is a small locked box that quietly hums a lovely melody at night, but you always forget it in the morning.
You know what? I want that. I want
All
that.
right.
Yeah, I want that one.
And because it's not night yet, he says, "Now I promise you, at night it does play music. I will sing the little song for you, but I can never quite keep it in my head."
I'll put that
All
by
right.
my altar.
All right, that'll be two
Once we
gold.
get home.
2 gold for the little box.
Sure thing.
All right,
I have a large amount of gold.
sure. So is everyone else done buying trinkets, or
Yeah. I'm
okay? I mean, you can buy anything you want. Like if you wanted other like adventuring gear or anything like that, you can buy normal stuff too.
I still need to save money for my armor.
How much
Yeah,
left?
but I mean, 5 gold isn't going to slow you down
No.
that much.
No, but I'm trying to sock it away
Mm-hmm.
so I can take off the branding at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't get any gold from this last adventure. We just got run
Well,
out
I mean,
of town.
how much gold do you need to buy the armor you want?
Let's see how much.
I mean,
gold
he
do I
has the armor. He's paying it off in
Oh,
installments.
it pays off.
How much you have
Oh,
left?
right,
How much
Right,
you have
right.
left?
It's to
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
off.
yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
I pay that off.
When we get back to the Radiant Citadel, you could actually put out a clarion call to your fans that you got from your tour and see if they could crowdsource your armor.
Wow, I could kickstart a fundraiser.
Mhm, mhm,
Oh.
mhm.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
You,
Not sorry.
you got a small gathering. It's getting bigger, you know. You can do it.
We'll see. We'll see if we get into any trouble in this benign and quiet city by the bay.
Yeah.
Look,
Nothing happens.
Look, we're on the early steps of your career. Wow, just like with Canthan. Canthan has been putting that sauce around. Like y'all might hit it big and stop adventuring.
Anthem, the next chef Tal. Or Bobby Flay or whatever celebrity chef you want to name. Okay.
All right. So we can say that eventually you do all the shopping you needed and you return to Anadwa's rest house for the evening, and you all retire to your individual rooms, which are comfortable. It's a well appointed little place here. But in the middle of the night, distant music provides an almost hypnotic undertone to a calm night. But then shouts ring out, shattering the peace. Someone's calling for help.
Oh boy.
Each of you can tell that from your room that the shouts are coming just from the inn's common room. This is not outside.
I'll grab up my staff and run down in my nightshirt.
All right.
Yep.
So for anyone who is not in armor because you were woken up in the middle of the night, please account for that when we do any combat.
DNARC is constantly in major
If we
armor.
do combat, we'll see. But so following the sound, what you discover is that the common room is filled with swirling mist, making it lightly obscured. The haze makes the area feel like it's full of fog, but not merely foggy, but also somehow floating on a stormy sea. Staff and other patrons who have stumbled out of their rooms are also frightened by the sight, and amid the mist, you see two terrified figures, and they look kind of like this handout that I'm going to give you. It's a handout for Haint.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay, that's a mask. Okay, that makes sense.
So there are two of them, one with a like masculine profile and one more feminine. And they are they're sort of floating in this mist, but their body language is frightened, and they're crying out, "Please, they're coming after us! I don't think we can lose them again."
Who's coming after you?
So I think they look to you and they cower away and they flee to like a distant corner of the room. No, they found us.
All right, this is spirit shit. I'm going to go get my helmet.
As you are like, does anyone else do anything? They've reacted in fear to your approach.
Okay, I will back up and look towards the door to the outside, because I'm assuming something's gonna come through the door, unless of course it goes to the walls, but that's another problem entirely.
Is there anyone else in the common room?
I mean, other people who are woken and people who work at the rest house, just like you.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you work in the rest house, you know what I mean? Just like other people disturbed by the sound, yeah.
DNARC is going to try and approach sneakily from the side.
Okay. You want to make a stealth check?
Sure. $17.
Okay. What is their passive perception? They immediately turn to see you and say, "No, stay away!" And they let's see. They sort of drift away, but just as that is happening, as they seem to be recoiling away from you, another spectral figure rises up as though coming through the floor. And this one looks like it's dressed in the clothing of like a salty dog pirate type, but no face. Where there would be a face, there's just nothing. And the two initial figures that you saw see that and just sort of like sag in despair. And the wraith that just came up out of the floor looks around, and it sees those of you like Xenophon and Dianok who had kind of approached, and it points to them like it's looking at the initial spirits, but then it points to you, and it like in a commanding body language. And we're going to roll initiative.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And
what is my status as far as having
well, I think if you're just running up to grab it and coming right back, you'll be able to arrive during your first turn.
Okay.
We're just gonna do
Theater of the Mind. Yeah.
Theater of Mind for this one, but I have to put.
I rolled low, so that makes sense.
All right, I have to put tokens on the map though for that.
I rolled low, which makes no sense except I'm not very good at this.
Okay. All right. I will put everyone else's tokens on there. All right. So we need, there we go.
Wow. Oh, Flounce has done well. Dianok's doing okay. This is like, are we all are terrible? We still need Axel. Come on, Axel. Big bucks, no whammies.
Well, the the creatures also also rolled poorly. Here, I bet I have a handout for the wraith as well, just to put on the screen.
Yeah, we are except for Flounce, we are all mediocre or terrible at this.
Well, it is middle of the night.
It is the middle of the night.
The wraith handout technically is one that you should already have.
Yeah,
handy. But so with this artwork though, what you should envision though is that instead of the sort of ring wraith outfit what we actually have is like I said, pirate outfit.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of level drain.
Sparko said, but I less bone and more cloud.
And then so Xenophon, what's your dex?
My dex is 12.
Okay, well roll a d20 then.
All right. 18.
Wow, they rolled a 19, so they go first. So yeah. All right, so as Flounce, you are going to be the first able to operate here. So right now, all that has happened is that this piratey looking one has arrived. The others are acting scared of it, but despairing at its arrival, and it has just pointed at your friends aggressively.
Okay, I am going to get in between it and my friends.
Okay. I think you're.
I'm going to hold an attack action to if it tries to attack them.
Okay. All right, Dianok.
Let's see. On one of the let's see actions. Yeah, on both the hands, I'm going to use Mind Whip.
Okay.
That is a intelligence save.
All right. Uh,
On the Haints?
And the Haints? I thought the Haints were the victims here. Oh, am I wrong?
I mean, you guys decide what you want to do. I described what they were doing.
So, yeah. So
The first one gets a 9, and the second one gets a 4.
they both fail, take 9 damage, and can either move, action, or bonus action,
Okay.
but not all three.
Right. Just double checking. Oh, they're not resistant. So they both they both kind of cower as they take this psychic assault. All right. Exel, your turn.
I am going to Eldritch Blast the non-hate, the Wraith, correct?
Yep.
And Eldritch Blast works off level, not class level. So I do shoot 3 times,
Okay.
which makes me excited. 27.
27 certainly hits.
Oof. 11
Okay.
and 27.
Okay, so the 11 does not hit. For some
Okay.
reason, I thought you were saying it did 11 damage, but
Oh, no.
yeah. So that looks like 2 hits out of 3.
Alrighty. D10 plus 5. Let's see here. D10 plus 5. For max damage for the first
Ooh,
one.
nice.
Max
Wow!
damage.
Nice.
Wow!
Whoa.
Wow!
Hey.
Wow.
Nice.
1 in 100.
And I will definitely push it back 20.
All right, yeah, you shove it like it like disappears through one of the walls as you shove it as it's blasted backward, but you suspect it's still around. It just got
Moved.
incorporeally. No, I take it back. It can move through things, but it takes damage if it ends inside an object. So I'm gonna say that it doesn't actually. It's not forced into that position.
Right.
But you did a fair amount of damage, though, for sure. Okay, Canthan, you
Well, it's
are.
a good thing you didn't knock it through the wall because I didn't have to run around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to charge forward with my halberd and
All right.
Start cleaving this spirit.
Okay.
But I'm going to start by taking a bonus action with fighting spirit.
Okay.
So attacking with advantage. 22.
22. Yeah, certainly hits.
10 points of damage.
Mhm.
Another 22 for 13 points of damage.
Ooh.
And a 21 for 11 points of damage. Total of 34 damage.
Wow.
Oh,
It is almost entirely shredded as a specter. It is barely holding itself together at all.
I guess that's and yeah, so just in case I need those 10 temporary hit points. 'Cause,
I think maybe we've discussed it before, but what does it look like when you call upon your fighting spirit?
he takes a kind of a stance. There's a kind of a spins the halberd, and a little glint of light comes off the blade, and a ting sound.
May I suggest a
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli style hair floofing?
yeah.
Well, he's usually wearing a helmet or a hat, so
Yeah,
no, the feather on his hat does a little twirl.
we can tell. It's as though a breeze that nobody else can feel is
Yes,
blowing.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, you have this wraith is almost annihilated, but now it is the Haint's turn, and they are moving towards. Let's see. I think probably. I guess towards Canthan, because he's the
Okay.
one that just charged at the wraith. I think to the extent that you can tell, they seem perhaps reluctant in their body language, and yet
Mhm.
they are doing.
Okay.
they have to move.
They seem to be following the order.
Yeah.
And so I think as they both reach towards Canthan.
They can't do anything other than move.
Oh, you're right.
It's a psychic or the mind whip.
Yes, you're right. I think they do move forward, and they find that they cannot make themselves attack. And I think you think that your impression is that they look honestly relieved.
Yeah.
Xenophon.
Okay, so I will point at the wraith and say, you will return to your undead state where you belong and cast Sacred Flame. Dexterity saving throw from the wraith is
Alright.
needed.
Okay. Gets a 9. That's going to fail for sure.
That's going to fail, so it's going to take 17 radiant damage.
And it is destroyed in radiant fire.
Yeah.
And so as it is destroyed, you see the Haints like wrest themselves free from where it was commanding, and look just tremendously relieved in their sort of embracing in their spiritual form, still floating in the strange mist that makes the room feel as though it's on a roiling stormy sea.
Mhm.
And they look down at the rest of you and say, "Thank you for destroying our captors. We were separated from our families, taken from our homes in Janai long ago. I am Violet," says the feminine one. "This is Derek. We were taken on a ship called the Gierskamen. It sank, and we were lost to the sea, along with the important tomes we were protecting. We were at peace there in the watery grave until something wicked recently has disturbed our remains and claimed the ancient tomes we were guarding. The Wraith was one of our captors in life, reanimated now in death. But the tomes, we are free, but the tomes we protected are in danger. Find them, reclaim them. Only when the knowledge is safe can we find true peace." And as they're finishing, you hear the mist starting to swirl faster, and you can hear the distant sound of howling wind and pounding waves.
You're scamming.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is something that's interesting. I'd be interested in investigating. Yeah.
So as the mist and sounds swirl around them, they cry out, "Something terrible threatens our precious lore. Please help us, or our people's secrets will be lost forever."
What is your people?
The mist roils away to nothing, and the Haints vanish. And soon the common room returns to normal, except that on the floor where the Haints were hovering, there are 2 puddles of water that are in very unusual shapes, each of them seeming to form a distinctive sigil. And it's clearly magical, because ordinarily it would be very difficult to make a puddle of water on a floor form a specific shape, but something's doing it.
Do you knock Axel any ideas?
Oh yes, I'm definitely going to write this record sigil.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not new book though.
no.
Does it? Can I make out the language of the sigil?
Anyone who would like to can make either a history or an arcana check to look at the sigils.
Either one is trash for me, but I'll try.
I'll give Arcana a shot.
Ooh,
16.
Okay.
28.
Okay. So
I
I
figured,
I
yeah.
think
19.
I think Dianok is the first to spot it, although a couple of you recognize them because they are uh, notorious has too negative a connotation. That's not what I mean.
Infamous?
No, again, it's like I don't just famous. We'll say legendary. Um, there are what was like ancient techniques from this place, from this land. Um, there was ancient mystical practices known as the Black Mist Way, and there was also kind of paired with it defensive martial strategies called the Black Throne Arts, and those were like ancient teachings that are kind of considered more or less like lost to time, specifically during the time known as the passage of vultures. Like those are ancient teachings and legendary schools associated with Janai, but nobody has them anymore. They're not like preserved because a lot of the crucial knowledge was lost during those raids. But these two sigils are the sigils for the Black Mist Way and the Black Throne Arts, respectively.
Hmm. Hmm. I imagine that is what the tones they spoke of are about.
Hmm.
So Anadwa is there and looking around, and she's just going around to everyone. Is everyone all right? Is everyone all right? Was anyone hurt?
Hurt.
No, I don't
No.
believe any of us are hurt.
No.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm terribly sorry about this. Nothing like this has ever happened to you before. I don't know what to make of it. But thank you for stepping in to defeat that hostile spirit. I'm so sorry that it had to happen. I don't know why.
Although we're not here in an official capacity, we are shield bearers. It is our job to handle strange magical events like this.
Well,
They seem to have. We seem to run into them no matter where we go.
thank goodness you were here.
What do you know about shipwrecks, lady?
I know they happen sometimes. I'm not an expert in any means.
Do you know anyone who might be an expert or would know a little more at least?
Well, the official records are kept by the people's stewards in Janai Castle.
Okay.
I could send a messenger to arrange for you to have an appointment with them tomorrow.
We would love that.
That would be great.
I will have it. I will have it done. I will. If everything seems to have returned to normal, I feel free to return to your rooms, and I will have an appointment booked for you in the morning.
Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
All right. So, do you all go back to your rooms, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
The sigils just like staying there in their shape.
Yeah. So they let's see. They last for about a minute, and then the water has evaporated to the point where the sigils are not clear anymore.
Okay.
What I'll also let you know, some of you with some of the high rolls you got, is that there is a recent trend amongst the leaders of Janai that is kind of collectively known as the Will of the Insurgent Tides, which is a collective vow to try to recover and restore the knowledge of and traditions of Janai's past, including the Black Mist Way and the Black Throne Arts. But so there has been like an active project to try to recover information about those things.
So our efforts will not be hindered.
Well, far from it.
Theoretically.
In
Possibly
fact,
even subsidized.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get it down to Janai.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody would know a way to get us there, in some way where we can survive, it would be It would be the government.
Mhm. Always trust the government. That's what I say.
But didn't we just find out that's not the truth?
So I think the rest of your night goes uninterrupted. There's a lovely breakfast in the morning. And sure enough, Anandwa tells you that there is you have an appointment with one of the stewards, one of the people's stewards in Castle Janai, who is the one that studies shipwreck records at 10 a.m.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Will you be staying another night, or?
I believe that's likely, yes.
Yeah, I think we will.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
in thanks for your assistance last night, you are welcome to stay. I was about to say as long as you like, but let's say for a while.
Okay.
All right.
That's fair.
At least one more night.
Yes.
Okay.
She seems like she feels like it sounds too mercenary to try to make it like a specific number or something, but it's also like,
Right.
I'm not offering you permanent rooms.
35 days later.
Yeah.
Are we still here?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. But certainly while you are investigating the mystery of what occurred. Okay, so you
Off to the castle.
yeah you get out and about and make your way to
A very large castle.
yeah. So you discover actually as you start to leave the rest house that there are across the street some guards wearing long black tunics who look to you and just say, "The Order of the Golden Prawn?
We are.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yes.
We are your escorts. Please come with us."
Lead the way.
Very well.
And they are, I think, with his previous history check, Xenophon, you would recognize that these are members of Janai's elite reconnaissance patrol called the Light Sea Lancers.
Light Sea Lancers.
Yeah, and they seem to be like they're setting a quick pace and expecting you to keep up.
I'm not the high dexterity person in this group.
Well, no, it's not like you have to run. I'm just saying there's no dawdling is the point. Is like this is business. Yeah.
Yes.
So so as you are approaching the castle, the onyx-colored Castle Janai towers over the surrounding structures. It is built of mud bricks and studded with the projecting ends of wooden supports. Stern guards stand watch alongside an open gate. And your escorts just lead you right on through without stopping.
Walking and
yeah.
walking.
You are guided through magnificent corridors lined with glass-encased lights. And eventually you are brought into a tapestry-lined hall where the floor is covered with luxurious rugs. But the person that is there, you were told that you were meeting with like a junior official who studies shipwrecks, but the person you see is a somber human man with gray hair, wearing purple robes, sitting on a central rug amongst several books and sheafs of paper. And let's see, I have a handout for Atiba Pa. This is a very cool looking guy.
Atiba Pa.
Yeah.
Oh, Atiba.
And as he looks up as you come in, and the guards, they kind of exchanges nods with the guards. The guards leave, and you're there with them. And he is, like I said, he's sitting on a rug, looking like surrounded by a bunch of different books that he's got like spread out around him. And he kind of looks up at you and says, "Welcome. I am Atiba Pa, Regent of the People's Stewards." And what you realize is that this is the guy. This is like he's the one in charge. He's like the president of the city. So
I'm going to bow my head respectfully.
So yeah, this is not the the functionary in charge of shipwreck records. This is
No.
So Yeah, so he kind of introduces himself in a slightly blasé fashion there. What do you all say?
I am Xenophon of the Golden Prawn, and these are my companions who will introduce themselves. We are most gratified and surprised to meet you. And I'll gesture and step aside to let my four companions
I am
say stuff.
Dianok Bainbow.
Clowns, pleased to meet you.
Okay, then.
I am Exel, and he gives a slight bow.
And he kind of looks through each, looks at at each of you and kind of nods, and he kind of picks up a sheaf of notes and is kind of glancing through it, and he says, "So I have taken the liberty of canceling your previous appointment in lieu of this one. I've heard rumors of the events and heard a little bit about what has happened. But could you please recount the events of last night, just so I can coordinate it with the rumors that I've heard?"
I will launch into a vivid description of the Haints' arrival, their fear, the appearance of the Wraith, and the dispatching of the Wraith, and then the Haints' message and warning, the sigils left at the end, and then their disappearance.
So he nods at several points. He's clearly comparing it to the notes that he's got on this sheaf of paper, but he does occasionally, write some details there as you share them. And as he looks at it, he kind of looks down thoughtfully for the moment. Thank you. The spirits aren't uncommon here in Janai. We call them haints. It's a term you may or may not have heard. The spirits born of sorrow spawned all too frequently during the passage of vultures. However, the manifestation of the sigils connected to the Black Mist Way and Black Throne arts is not something we've seen before, and I consider it noteworthy. It is both noteworthy and timely. As you may have heard, or I can tell you now, that I and the people's stewards believe that now is the time to restore the traditions of Janai's past. We call this the will of the insurgent tides. We have been actively seeking information and knowledge about the Black Mist Way and Black Throne arts. And so your sudden arrival in the city, coinciding with the appearance of these spirits and the sigils, I am inclined to look upon these coincidences as serendipity.
Indeed.
I have a theory about all this, but before we get to that, do you have any questions for me?
Not at this time, no, thank you.
Please do continue.
Yeah.
For centuries, we have dreamed of reclaiming the Black Mist Way and the Black Throne arts so that our people can defend their lands and our neighbors with all the strength of the past. I believe that you all have connections to Janai's ancestors, perhaps your roots or something gained in your life's journey. This drew the spirits to you, and we must learn why. I've been researching and verifying stories since I heard of your encounter. And you look, and I think this might be the first point where you realize, like, you're not sure he slept last night. Like, he seems like he's a serious guy, but he's clearly been up all night doing this. And he says, based on what I have found so far, the longship Girskamen was a raiding ship that captured Janaians, and it was taken over and sank during the passage of vultures. And my suspicion is that the spirits you encountered likely died in the struggle before the ship sank, just because that is the typical pattern we see when haints are created. A simple drowning usually does not create them. It requires a more violent death. However, at the same time, during the passage of vultures, and in dates coinciding with what we have of the records of the Gyrskamen, two great stone tomes holding the collected lore of the Black Mist Way and Blackthrone arts were lost during this period. Although they are not listed on the ship's manifest officially, I believe that it may well be possible that these books were in fact on the ship, and thus, perhaps, based on the story you tell me, could be recovered from the shipwreck, but perhaps may be in danger of being recovered by someone else as we speak.
Do you know where the location of the Gyrskamen is?
Unfortunately, I don't have that specific information. However, it may well be that people in Janya could help with that specific detail. But I would like, if you all are willing, I would like you to undertake a mission to find this shipwreck and any hint of Janai's lost lore still aboard. In return for finding this ship and whatever it holds, I will reward you with 3,000 gold. And I can provide some assistance in the underwater aspect. It won't be easy. You will have to persuade folks within Janya. They have detailed histories of Czechs, but they often have their own issues that they may wish to impress upon you when you speak to them. However, I can grant you as a temporary loan these. And he reaches over, and there's like a polished wooden box that he opens, and he hands each of you a necklace of black cowrie shells. And he says, these will allow you the ability to travel underwater and to breathe the water during that time. Let me be very clear, though, that these are expensive historic artifacts. They are not payment. They are not gift. We would very much like them returned when your mission is complete. However, this is a mission of importance such that I feel loaning them to you in order to aid your efforts is more than worthwhile. This is, of course, if you are willing to take on this task.
That sounds like a wonderful use of our time.
You all agreed?
It's my part.
That is very useful.
The Black Mist Way and the Blackthrone arts helped save Janai in the ancient past. Without that knowledge, who knows how we might fare if another threat comes to our shores. If you succeed in this mission, you will help ensure Janai's future by reclaiming the strength and traditions of the past. That is, if the night revelers don't drag us into chaos first. Sorry, I'm reading a box of text.
Would Dianok know, is it like a magical art, or?
The Black Mist Way is magical rituals, and the Blackthrone arts are like martial arts techniques.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Uncovering lost secrets sounds like it sounds enjoyable, even if
sounds like right up your alley.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he did kind of toss off a mention of the night revelers there, which we briefly touched on with the dance house earlier.
The night revelers you mentioned, would they wind up being a problem for our mission?
I would hope not. They're misguided. I would suggest you avoid contact with them, but I don't expect that they will actively interfere with you.
Okay. And I assume, what would they do if we did encounter them?
I suspect they might attempt to persuade you in their fashion to their way of thinking, which is basically that everyone should dance and have fun and only think about the future and ignore centuries of lost tradition and heritage and culture. As I mentioned, they are misguided.
Okay.
Understood.
Okay. So yes.
So then the necklaces are basically magically going to act as a cloak of the manta ray, which is it is not a cloak of the manta ray, but basically what it does is it doesn't require attunement. You do have to activate it as a bonus action when you're wearing it, but when it's activated, you can breathe underwater and you have a swimming speed of 60 feet.
Okay. Well, that's definitely good.
So he says, and so, as I mentioned, you will likely need to find allies in Janya to help you locate the shipwreck, but I expect that you are up to the task, and I am putting my trust in you to recover this precious knowledge for Janai.
We will make sure that that trust is not abused and that we fulfill this mission and bring back this knowledge to you. How do we get to Janai?
Janya.
Janya, thank you. How do we get to Janya from Janai? Blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's you saw outside where the water was.
Yes.
It's.
You just go swimming?
I'm kind of being a little blasé with that. He says it is not difficult to find.
I imagine once we're in the water, there will be some sort of guidance, since they probably expect people to visit from above.
Right.
So I think we should go. We should get down.
Now that you have sort of officially agreed to do it, you see that he finally smiles. He's looking a little bit less serious, and you can see also that he's allowed his tiredness to show a little bit more than he was before. It's just like, thank you. I appreciate you taking under this mission for us, and I will have the guards escort you, whether you need to return to the rest house or whether you are ready to embark right away. But I am
gather our possessions and we can go.
Pleased that your arrival has been so fortuitous, and I believe it was meant to be. All right. So as you are escorted out. You are escorted, back to the gates of the castle, and then kind of able to just, you're once again able to wander the city as you see fit.
Hey, Enoch would have grabbed basically all of their stuff before leaving, but
yeah. Well, no, I can imagine that you were heading out for your appointment. I would imagine you were bringing your stuff. Yeah. As you are making your way kind of away from the castle, once you've made it a couple of blocks, a figure wearing pale blue robes approaches, her face obscured by a diaphanous blue veil. "The people's stewards have lost their way," she whispers. "Many speak of your mystic experiences last night, of what they might mean, and of what causes are championed by those seemingly at the center of them."
Oh.
"I am the Blue, and Geneba of the Night Revelers invites you to the Ancestors' Dance House for a meeting tonight, or at your convenience."
And
we thank you for the invitation.
Yes, I should be clear. After 9.
After 9.
What happens before 9?
They are not available.
Hmm.
We are asking you to come to the dance house for a meeting tonight.
Hmm.
Will you come?
If we are at a point where we can, where we are not occupied with our current goal, we probably will.
She kind of reacts to your non-committal answer with a little bit of a sly smile behind this veil, and just says, "You should if you want to know what's really going on." And she then kind of like twirls away and goes around a corner, and then you don't see her anymore. But she, I think the last thing you hear her say, she kind of calls around the corner, is, "Atiba's folly and Geneba's glorious revelry is the choice you face. I would choose the one that sounds more fun."
You're muted, Nobilis.
She has a point.
Do we get this? Do we get the other side of the story? This is feeling awfully familiar, friend.
Well, I mean, we can go
Tomorrow.
to Janai and see about
Janya.
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 Yeah.
Go to Janya, see about locating the wreck, and then go and see these people.
Yeah, well, it's about noon now. Oh, my dear GM.
Yes.
So we have like 9 hours before we have to
Right.
be there.
So I need to retcon briefly though that you do actually need to take a ship to where Janya is.
Okay.
I
Okay.
jumped to the conclusion a little bit before.
That
I
we could just
realized-
walk in the water.
Yeah. So so what has actually happened is that you have been booked on a ship for the next morning.
Oh,
Okay.
well then.
In that case, then
Yeah,
then-
that of course is clear.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you you just kill time?
Explore the city.
Yeah.
See what's to be seen besides the market. Hopefully, not get into more trouble.
Yeah.
Because trouble follows us wherever we go.
Sure.
Apparently.
All right. So you find ways to pass the time, see the sights here in Janai. But then as it starts to get dark, you make your way towards the ancestors' dance house.
So when is sun? The GM's going to scream at me when I says, "When is sunset here?" Anyway,
6:30.
6:30.
So specific.
6:32.
I come from a place
And
where
8
there
seconds.
not any sunrise or sunset.
Anyway.
I mean, they're still interesting to Xenophon.
But in any case, it's dark, certainly. But you discover that what the Ancestors Dance House now is a combination mausoleum and dance hall. A place where the living can both honor the departed and celebrate.
Okay, then.
Yeah. So when you arrive, the individual who told you to call them the Blue is waiting for you. And she leads you past a pair of sentries into the chalk white mud brick sculpture. And as you enter, a captivating drum beat grows louder as the Blue leads you along a corridor set with archways, at the end of which a cavernous ballroom opens up. Half the space is filled with dancing people, but other figures stand along the sides vigorously debating. The Blue leads you to a nearly 7-foot tall figure draped in complex arrangement of robes and sashes. Speaking in a beautifully sonorous voice, the figure greets you. "Welcome, I am Geneba. And I clicked the window that made my window that I was reading from go away. Give me a second. I am Geneba, and we have much to discuss. And here is a handout of Geneba, starting with a DJ. So check out this curious individual.
More interesting art.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is Definitely.
The podcast listeners can't
Yeah.
see this art, but those who are streaming and watch the VOD can see this
Yes.
glorious
So
art.
when we say that they are draped in a complex arrangement of robes and sashes, we should be clear that these robes and sashes cover pretty much every part of their body. You
I
see
think I
no.
see an eye.
Yeah, there's an eye, and that's about it. They're very
Uh,
tall, but you can otherwise
yeah.
only see like there. It's clearly designed to sort of mask any sort of figure, like or silhouette to them.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I thought that was a mouth.
Well, as you like. In any case, though, uh, what do you do? They say, "I am Geneva, and we have much to discuss."
Lead on, please.
They lead you to a private corner of this ballroom, which is set with fine couches, and as you all sit, is like, I know that you have already spoken with Atiba Pa and the people's stewards, and I am sure that they spoke eloquently about the need to recover and preserve ancient knowledge and traditions. And it's true that ancient Jedi was a wondrous place, its streets lined with alchemical lights, its people's hearts gilded with the peace of free living. But sad as it may be, the past is gone and it's not coming back. We do not do ourselves or our people service by clinging to lost traditions. Instead, we, rather than spending all of our resources on searching for ancient lore that failed to protect our ancestors from all that was lost, instead we seek to surpass the heights of ancient Jedi by creating new traditions. Please tell me about the spirits that you saw.
Well, there were a couple of haints, we're told there were. A man and a woman in elongated masks, and they seemed to be fleeing from something, and then a nautically inclined fellow, also some kind of spirit.
So, even though you have not been talking for long, they already look bored. Like they're clearly like they start like glancing off like past you.
Allow me, can't that? So I launch into a improvised.
No, so as you start, she says, "My friends, we will speak more, but first let us partake in the night revelry." And she dances into the crowd.
Oh, I was about ready to do my act. They may know who I am. Pity.
No, I'm telling you what this person does.
I know.
I mean, I know how great Xenophon is.
I'll be honest. They're not giving me much reason to give them much credence. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
No, where's the there? I should use my words better, but it doesn't translate from Gitzer, I guess, too well to common.
As you're kind of having this initial discussion, there several nearby dancers and some people with drums approach and seem to be trying to encourage you to join in the festivities.
I mean,
there's people dancing, there's people drumming, and there are available drums. There's lots of people having philosophical debates and stuff. I mean, I'm just telling you what's happening. You should all do as your characters would do.
So tell me about these drums. You said there are drums available?
There are. They have lots of different kinds of drums, and there are people already drumming, but there are available drums that you could join in.
Because while Xenophon is all about the spoken word, if you look at his character sheet, his initial musical item was in fact drums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got some pretty good jam session going right now.
So Xenophon will look at his companions, think for a moment, and then go over and join the drumming circle,
Hmm.
and play some drums. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. These people don't seem to have much, but at least maybe you can at least just exercise some music, which Xenophon hasn't done lately since he's been all about words rather than music. So
I mean,
Xenophon
nothing's
was-
really been asked of you yet. You know.
No,
It's just,
Yeah,
but-
I'm
yeah.
and
Where's the other
I'm-
shoe gonna drop? Yeah.
I'm kind of confused.
Yes. Yeah. If we're not gonna, you know, you know, basically, if what we came here for is on hold, I guess Dianoc will wander over to some of the philosophical discussions and
Mhm.
listen in to see what type of things they're doing, type of subjects they're talking about.
Okay. We'll follow up with each of those things in a moment. But what do the rest of you do?
I mean, um,
I mean, it is an entirely valid choice for you to stand there with your arms folded, thinking this place sucks. What's going on?
yeah, I'm just gonna stand there and like this person summoned us and then went off dancing. I'm just gonna stand where they had last been and just watch the dancing,
Mm-hmm.
head cocked a little to the side, arms crossed, leaning up against something perhaps.
Yeah. You get a couple of people come and try to, dance with you, but if they're not pushy about it if you decline.
Yeah.
Axel's going to listen to the conversations going on around, like
Mhm.
how, like, just to see if he can hear, and learn more about the people and what's going on and so forth like that.
Okay. So you're listening to like any group in particular, like the people debating, or are you...
Yeah, the debates, because I'm assuming that they would probably be talking about things that, like,
Mhm.
How would you solve this issue in this area, maybe, potentially?
Sure. So what about Flounce?
I'll be honest, the player is kind of offended. So,
I mean,
well, no, it's I was a history major in college. History is my whole jam. So I think Flounce is like, I think this is a waste of time. I mean, I understand that we need. I think she's standing beside Canthan. Is like, I think this is just a waste of time. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go back to the hotel place, rest house thing, and get a good night's sleep, because this is definitely not my jam.
I mean, I almost feel like we've been lured away so that something can happen somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back.
Yeah, I'm coming with you.
Okay. So while Flounce and Canthan decide to leave early, and again, no judgment. I'm just, this is an entirely valid choice here. Go for Xenophon joining in the drumming. Please make a performance check.
Okay, let's see how we do. 25.
Oh, wow. So you are able to just jump right into the rhythms that they're doing, and everyone is really impressed. They give you a couple of breaks for you to do your own little solos. And I think, I mean, I won't tell you that you have a good time, but you are warmly welcomed and enthusiastically greeted and cheered because your drumming is so great.
Good to get to practice anyway, even if there's trouble, I'm sure my friends can find me.
And
and
after a particularly good little run there, one of them kind of nods to you and what kind of drum did you pick? Like what did you, assuming that there's lots of different kinds of drums, what did you pick to drum on?
Small, simple snare drums.
Okay.
A pair.
All right. So one of the people, after a particularly good run, when some other people are kind of doing their part now, nods over to you and says, "That drum belongs to you, man."
If I feel it.
No, I mean, like, really, like, you can keep it.
Thank you.
In the meantime, Dianok is debating. Lots of, and as Axel is listening to, lots of these night revelers are engaging in spirited arguments regarding gradations between states of anarchy and freedom, and the value of history and tradition and all that sort of thing. It is very sort of college party where the philosophy students are hanging out. Although some of them seem to be actually, like knowledgeable about the subject and just really into having the debates about it is the thing. Dianok, you can make either a persuasion check or an insight check to join in these debates.
I think I'll go with insight.
All right.
Natural 20 for 25.
Nice. So what is the argument you are making about this subject? Like your position about the states of anarchy and freedom versus, order and law and all of that sort of thing. Like what point do you make about that impresses
Hot dogs
everybody?
or a sandwich?
Hot dogs are a taco, but anyway. Like anarchy versus freedom is like,
Well, I mean, anarchy versus freedom is like not necessarily opposing things on a spectrum, but yeah.
Well, okay.
Subjects of anarchy and freedom.
Yeah. Anarchy is a state of being, but it is incredibly unstable. Yeah. You get something that seems stable, you flick it, and it just crumbles. Yeah. Like basically, and if there's any structure in it, you'll find it's, it gets structured by being not anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
People create laws in their different subgroups and it might just be different from others.
Yeah. So there's definitely some people that like they're really impressed by that, and I think they spin on from there to say so we definitely want to have some structure, but what's the value of relying on old methods of structure versus establishing new methods of structure and so on. And they're kind of, and like sometimes what if you need a period of anarchy in order to transition from an old structure to a new one that would work better, and like that's the whole thing. But they are impressed enough with your arguments that several of them ask you to sign their little journals.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. And so for Axel, who's kind of listening in, make an insight check.
Insight check. Oh boy. Okay, that's not bad. 13.
Yeah. So I think that like you get the impression that although like the first impression you got here seemed pretty unserious, you do get the impression that there are a lot of people who actually really do know a lot about these sorts of things, which doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be super effective at putting things into practice, but they're definitely educated on the subject. They're not just like dummies who read a book and now they think they know everything, right? Like there's some people here who at least know what they're talking about. But so as that has kind of gone on for a while, it's been about an hour, let's say, Geneva kind of ends up circling back to probably Xenophon first, but then to the others, and she comes along and says, well, word comes to Geneva of meetings between the so-called people's stewards and adventurers, and whispers of the sigils seen where the spirits of the past are wrought to life by ancient pain. Atibapa knows these sigils as well as I, but I offer you a chance to turn from his empty past and help build the future for Janai.
What would that entail, lady?
Well, let us discuss. And so essentially, so she kind of takes you back to the meeting room area now that she's got the wiggles out of her system, apparently. I propose that you embark on the mission promised. Find the lore of the Black Mist Way and the Black Throne arts. But rather than take them back to Atibapa and the people's stewards, bring them to us. We would take these ancient traditions, find what value could be found within them, and forge them into something more powerful rather than simply relying on repetition of strategies that failed the ancient people. With this new power, the people of Janai will be so scintillatingly free that no marauder would dare come to their shores, and except to engage in the revelry. And of course, for such a task, we can reward you with 4,000 gold and a place of honor among the night revelers in return for the lore.
That is a very generous offer.
I do hope that you will consider it.
I will speak to my companions once we reunite of what you propose.
Feel free. You are also welcome, of course, to remain here in the dance house, either in a room of your own or staying within the revelry until the night is spent.
I do think I do need to find my companions at this stage, especially since you've put such a tempting offer in front of us.
Very well. And there is no need to return to me with an answer of either kind, unless it is simply returning to us with the books.
I understand. I also have the drum underneath my arm because I did take the drum.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go try to find Dianok, Axel.
And I think as you're if you are leaving, is like, I understand that you might feel obligated to Atibapa who asked you first, but I would suggest that you may yet change your minds if you see firsthand the pain that the past carries with it.
Pain?
You were visited, of course, by spirits.
Yes.
The guardians of this lore were not protected by it. Instead, they suffer for it.
I graze my head in acknowledgement. You do perceive.
All right. So, as you head back out and I presume return to the rest house?
Yep.
Hmm?
Assuming my companions haven't already left, have left already. I might be the last. Am I the last out?
I mean, I assumed that Exel and
No.
Dianok
Yeah,
were
I was still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find them at the debate.
Mm.
At the remnants of the debate.
No, I assumed she pulled all three of you. I think she just went to Xenophon first.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So, like, if
I thought
Axel
you
or
were
Dianok
alone.
had wanted to say something, you could have.
I thought I was alone.
That's all right. I thought that my intention was that all three of you were there.
Yeah. At the mention of the past having pain, it's like Dianok would just kind of, of course, the past has pain. Past also has pleasure. You know, the past is not all one thing or the other. And sometimes your past can carry you into a future that that is better than what you would have had before.
That is exactly what I proposed, darling.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Enoch is not super impressed with
Hey,
the Night Revelers.
I'm not telling you that you should be. I'm telling you
Yeah.
what the off.
Well,
They did offer you 1,000 gold more.
Yeah.
I know that this is not a primarily money motivated group, but
Yeah.
We should at least go back and talk with the rest of the group.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll head back. We'll head back to.
And actually, I can imagine that.
I'll send sending because I got the spell to spare.
Mhm.
I'll send sending a Canthan. We just had a meeting with her nibs. Where are you two?
Rest house.
Okay. We're at the rest house. Let's go.
Mhm.
And I imagine um, Xenophon found, yeah, found Dianoc like in a very unusually heated debate where, uh, kind of, the kind of debate where the two people get a little more emotional than you would expect and kind of forget
Especially
what the
for
debate was about.
especially for Theonard.
And yeah,
We've
and
kind of
Dianoc
diverted
just,
down the road there.
yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. So,
So French toast is absolutely a calzone.
Yeah, and tea is absolutely a soup.
And
Okay.
If you're gonna go there, man.
Yeah, if you're gonna go there, you gotta commit.
all right. So,
Anyway, rest house.
Rest house and reunited, and it feels so good.
yeah. So basically, right now, your ship is due to leave to take you to the Night Sea, which is the area where Jenya is. Will leave at dawn, but I would say, given the time that it is, I would say if you have more conversation that you want to have as a group tonight, then let's go ahead and do that. But then we will come back next week for the journey to the Night Sea.
Well, there's one thing I want to say once he hears everything.
Yep.
Panthan is like, why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't, we find a scribe somewhere, copy the entire thing, and then hand each of them do it, and they can each do what they want with it? Why does either of them have to have a monopoly on this information?
What language is it in?
I don't know. We'll see when we get it.
Yeah.
If it's in one of the languages that any of us understand, we could easily copy
Duplicate it.
Yeah.
Or since there's at least 2 tomes, I'm not sure how big either of them is, but I was thinking that take a. We still have to find them, so this is all theoretical. But
give one to each side and let them.
Or even better, give half of each to each of them, so that they have to cooperate if they want to have a complete set.
That reminds me of a legend of a wise king that threatened to chop a baby in two.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see how divisible it is once we get it.
It's also, it seems like a way to not get paid, but
also a way not to get paid.
Yeah, but like you already observed, not a particularly money-oriented group.
Look, all of these
Except
things.
I still need to pay off my
what I'll also say though is that if these are books of any size, then it's not like a few hours to copy it, right? Like
it's going to be significant.
Yeah.
No, we'll see what happens.
I've heard of certain tomes of power that the material they're actually written on matters to how effective using the power is, or even.
I mean, that's conceivable. But let's see what we've got when we've got it.
If it was possible to copy it, one to one group, one to the other, I would almost say that would be the better way to do it. That way, they,
Or there's going to be at least 2, because there's two different things. There's the martial arts one and there's the magical one. Yeah. And we could give each one of them one of the 2 books, and say, if you want access to the other, you're going to need to negotiate between the 2 of you.
So, I would try and get a read on relative attitudes before we say it has to be negotiated, because some groups don't negotiate too well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there doesn't seem to be an active, hostility between these 2 groups. They don't respect each other much, but they're not hostile.
Yeah,
they're just
it's just something
strange.
I would want to take a look at before we decide to split like that.
Yeah, we're putting the cart way before the horse here. We need to get in the water, find where the wreck is, get to there, deal with it, and get the books before we decide what to dispose of them. but
Yeah, if they're even intact by this point.
if they're even intact.
Well, I believe they said that they were books made of stone. So if they're stone, chances are like they wouldn't disintegrate like paper would.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
We'll
they
see.
still might have been weathered by the tide. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So yeah,
On the morning tide, we will
See you in the
take the
morning.
ship.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Pirate's life for us.
we will need to find out what awaits the Order of the Golden Prawn in the Night Sea and the underwater city of Janya. Do these will the wreck of the Gishkaran be found? The books? What happens then? We will have to wait and find out next week when we return for more adventures on so many levels.
Oh man.
Yay!
Yay.